Shri BS Raghavan, an IAS officer of 1952 batch of West Bengal cadre, was a commissioner of various departments. He also served as the Chief Secretary of Tripura and was the Director, Political and Security Policy Planning in the Union Home Ministry. He was the first Secretary of the National Integration Council under the first Prime Minister of India, Shri Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and continued this most pivotal position for under three other Prime Ministers consecutively. He was a policy advisor to the UN and the chairman of 3 UN committees. He has been chief executive of 4 major public sector enterprises and now a well-celebrated columnist and author. May we have the pleasure of hearing you, sir, and over to you, sir.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Clearly, no problem?
No problem, sir. Yes, sir. You can go ahead, sir.
Mr. Srinivasan and all those who have assembled here, my apologies for jumping the queue. The only excuse I have is I am 95 and I specially chose to join today's occasion despite my age and infirmities for paying my very high tribute as a mark of public duty. I consider it a public duty on my part that I should discharge to Prime Point Srinivasan and all members of his team for the excellent public service that they have been rendering. It's not just running a PreSense magazine and publishing 8 volumes of a digest of essays. They have been performing a yeoman public service, a pioneering public service, which is nothing more or nothing less than raising the standards of public life in this country, the quality of public life in this country, by ensuring that democracy functions at a very high level. That he has been ensuring by his innovative introduction, innovative initiative, which has earned the praise of no less a person than Abdul Kalam, of awarding Samsad Ratna every year to the best representative in many dimensions in our parliament. Over a period, because of his professional, intellectual, and personal integrity, and the integrity of the team that he has assembled, this award has acquired a prestige that I can only call both enviable and unimaginable. Now, through this award and through all his other efforts, and through his very high quality articles in PreSense magazine, he has contributed to the monumental task. Believe me, I am saying it at my age of 95 years after being in public life for almost 80 years. Believe me, it's a monumental task of raising the quality of public life, the quality of representatives, and the quality of citizens of this country by his service. I do not know at all. I suppose Prime Point Srinivasan will forgive me. I think even Prime Point Srinivasan does not know the invaluable service that he has been rendering. And his team ought to know that there have been participants in making India great and bring glory to India. Because of my age, I have the right and authority to convey my blessings to every one of you. And therefore, I take this occasion, I said earlier, and I repeat it, I specially made it a point to attend today's function, despite my age and infirmity, for the very simple but noble purpose of conveying my very high appreciation for the invaluable and almost incredible services that Prime Point Srinivasan has been rendering. May they live long. Let them have a continued contribution to the public service of this country and also raising the quality of citizenship. The Constitution begins we the people, or we the people playing our part. And I think Prime Point Srinivasan should now move on from representatives to we the people and see whether there could be any innovative enterprise whereby we the people also could be made to contribute to the raising of the quality of public service in this country. Thank you very, very much.
Very, very grateful, sir, Mr. BS Raghavan ji. Your words are very, very valuable. That too, a person of your stature blessing us, it's a great. I know that your health and your participation has it has been very, very proud. We are proud of you, sir. Priya.
Thank you so much, Raghavan sir, for taking out your time, given communications. I'm sure each and every word of what you have spoken is engraved so deeply into our hearts, and we will ensure that we keep up all that good spirit and good work Srinivasan sir had been doing with Aegis guidance and monumental personalities like you, sir. Thank you so much for your time, and may we wish you good health. May I now request Shri S Narendra, an officer of the first batch of Indian Information Service, who has held various critical positions, including being advisor in the Planning Commission, chief spokesperson of Government of India for 7 years, headed Press Information Bureau, and information advisor to 4 Prime Ministers of India, including Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao, Shri I.K. Gujral, Shri Devagowda, and Shri Vajpayee. He's also one of the founding members of Prime Point Foundation and a communication guru to many, including my guru, Prime Point Srinivasan sir. And sir, with no delay, may I request you to deliver the presidential address.
Good evening. I'll be very brief. Mr. Raghavan has spoken golden words. I cannot add anything more, nor subtract anything from that. Every word is very, very richly deserved by not only Srinivasan, but also by all of you associated with PR Point, not only the PreSense, but the entire PR Point network of activities. In fact, PreSense, as Mr. Srinivasan said, is a torch lit by no other than President Abdul Kalam. And with that kind of a beginning, maintaining the torch in all its effulgence is a continuing effort. And I reached the 16th year. In a human life, the 16th year is something where there is a great awakening. And from the 16th year onwards, as Mr. Raghavan has said, you have tried to address the leadership. Now, can we make we the people be more proactive in cherishing our democratic values and in propagating it and in preserving it? He has almost set a new task for your PreSense. There are a lot of distinguished people wanting to speak on this occasion, and I congratulate all of you, and I want this journal to be promoted a lot more than what it has been, because it has acquired a great leadership and a weight. But it needs to be read by more and more people, and people also should contribute more. Running a voluntary journal is not an easy job, as Ms. Srinivasan has mentioned earlier, because there is no commercial interest. It is not in the finance that they require. It is the content and the feedback from the population, the readers, and how that is converted into further content and readership. I compliment all of you. Thank you very much for giving me this honor, and compliments to everyone involved with PreSense and Prime Points Srinivasan. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your energetic words, and you have always been the strength and the spine of confidence which we keep getting. And thank you so much for your wishes and prayers, and looking forward to your association henceforth too, sir. And may I request Mr. M.B. Jayaraman, Chairman Emeritus of Public Relations Council of India, a stalwart in the field of public relations and communication. Mr. Jayaraman had been the advisor to the former Chief Minister of Karnataka, Shri S Krishna, and is currently the advisor to NTPC. He is an actor turned film producer, turned PR expert, turned media advisor, turned Chairman Emeritus with PRCI. So with no further delay, sir, can I invite you to deliver your address?
Good evening, Priya. I think it is too much of hearing on me itself. Thank you so much anyway. It's a rare occasion, again, congratulating Mr. Srinivasan for his efforts in the field of digital communication. Really, I'm happy that 175th edition is coming out in a different kind of articles and all that. I still remember, it keeps in memory some of the articles, too good, like, new age political communication and internal communication, Indian cinema, image audit, all these articles, it is really marvelous. Such articles we see only in the digital form, and the committed person on positive journalism, it is Mr. Srinivas. I can say everywhere, and I know him for the last 30 plus years. His committed thing for journalism, it's really, nobody can match with him. This kind of, positive for the people like us, communicators. He is there, always he stands behind us and giving ideas, giving a lot of strength for our community, rather PR fraternity. It is too good. As Mr. Narendra said very well, about after Raghavan, CS, former CS Tripura spoke, nothing to tell about the way he is doing his service to the nation. It is really good. And more than that, finding the right person, youngsters, new generation to as political leaders, and Samsad Ratna awards. So, he searched for such good Samsad, parliamentary members, and finding out itself is a difficult task. Instead of that, with all difficulties, he is giving awards to such good people. That is also one of the great initiatives. And his Digital Journalist Association, Digital Security Association, everything to name with, fantastic thing he is doing. I really appreciate his 24/7 activities with regard to the journalism and public relations and communication altogether. I really appreciate the teamwork in him, particularly the present editor Priya, Rahul, and others. They are doing a very good job in creating. They have created such an impact, outside world on digital. I think this is the only, if I am right, the digital news service we are giving in India. I congratulate them once again, and I'm sure that 200th edition, not only with digital, we are sure that physical we also will do it in a big way. We are with him, and all the best. And thank you so much, Srinivasan, for your efforts in bringing 175, 200, 250. It will go on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your words. That's what we're looking up to, that now that the wheel has started running, so we should just keep the momentum the way it is right now. Thank you so much for your time. And Professor G Suresh, Vice Chancellor, Makhanlal, Chaturvedi, National University of Journalism and Communication, Bhopal. Sir, I have tried my level best to do justice to the profile which I have got of yours. So one of the most toughest profile which I had to condense into please forgive me if I have actually left any critical points of yours which I have to be mentioned. So he's a senior journalist, educational, socio-political commentator who has served as Director General, Indian Institute of Mass Communication, India, the Premier Institute Training, and he was also the senior consulting editor with Doordarshan News, founder, Dean of School of Modern Media, and the list continues. Professor Suresh is a member of Academic Council of Jawaharlal Nehru University, Delhi, and has served PTI in different capacities over a decade, including Chief Crime Reporter, and he's an outstanding tech speaker. And so with this gist, sir, we can't wait more to hearing from you. Thank you so much for being on our show today and being on our program today, and wishing you a very happy birthday on behalf of PreSense and all our members. So please, over to you.
Thank you, Priyadharshni. Thank you so much. First of all, my congratulations to Mr. Srinivasan and this entire team. I mean, I did not know. I mean, I had so many friends in the team. I see my dear esteemed colleague, my senior in the profession, and a very dear friend, T.N. Ashok, who is part of this team. I got a call from, Venkat from Doordarshan, again, a very dear friend, so many people, apart from, of course, the most distinguished Narendra ji, with whom I have had the opportunity when we were together on an election commission jury. I have seen his professionalism, his leadership abilities. I've heard so much. In fact, when I was heading as Director General of the Indian Institute of Mass Communication, Narendra ji is a legend among Indian Information Service officers. And always a pleasure. And again, great to see such senior people. Again, Mr. Jayaram, one of the leaders of the PRCI movement in this country. So, I mean, it's a distinguished leadership which is leading this very important publication. I somehow believe, I don't know, I stand corrected, that, that this magazine, of course, is known among the professionals, but I believe that it should be known also equally well among public relations students, media students. And I certainly am going to make this happen in Asia's first and India's largest media university. We need to talk about this. And I also believe that, up north, there is a little lack of awareness about this journal, which needs to be bridged. It's very important because there is a dearth of quality journals, and that too, this is really commendable. How can you, I mean, I really would like to have a long chat with Mr. Srinivasan, how he has managed 15 years of volunteership, from writers, journalists, experts. These days people just don't have time to contribute even a paragraph. I mean, to keep getting articles from these, ladies and gentlemen, would have been a really big challenge. And for a volunteering effort like this, and to know that this entire initiative had the blessings of none other than the most beloved people's president, President APJ Abdul Kalam, is something really remarkable. He is somebody who is a very genuine person, and who has never supported any, initiative which really does not gel. I mean, that's been his nature. He just generally doesn't support anything offhand. He really goes deep into the issue only then. And I have seen that comment of his when he talked about the importance of cartoons, and he referred to only the common man of R.K. Lakshman and the prince of Ezain. So this is really laudable, And I think that this is a wonderful story that needs to be chronicled. And 175, the edition and plus the volumes that we released today at this event can immensely contribute to the growth of not just corporate communication in the country, but also the varied subjects that it had advocated so far. I'm sure, I can only assure you on behalf of the Makhanlal University that I represent, that we can certainly, work together. We also have an advertising and public relation department, and we can certainly, and of course, other streams are also there. We are a multidisciplinary university with over 1.5 lakh students, 4 campuses, and 1,600 study centers across India. So we will be delighted to work with you. I also happen to be the president of the Global Media Education Council, and we can also look for some cooperation with, PreSense Design in that initiative also. We are going to have a 75-day long global media conference, online conference. So maybe there also I see a lot of scope for cooperation. So I'm sure that, you are, the 175 or 175 is just the beginning of the journey, of a long journey. And you have already arrived, and it's going to be, it has always been a great journey. It's going to be greater in the coming days. We all feel really proud that such an initiative is coming from hardcore professionals who have given their best to the industry. Thank you so much for inviting me and making me a part of this, wonderful initiative. And let's hope that once we get over this COVID pandemic, we will have a physical kind of event in the city, beautiful city of lakes, in the heart of India, and Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh. I look forward. Once again, my compliments to the entire team. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much for your wonderful speech, sir. Thanks a lot. May I request Prime Point Srinivasan to give his remarks?
So what a wonderful speech we had, blessings we had from great stalwarts like Mr. BS Raghavan ji. Even at the age of 95, he was highly enthusiastic to come to our program, and he wanted to share his views. He's our regular reader. And Narendra ji, as usual, he is my guru also. And MB Jayaram is one of my oldest friends. He was in the first editorial board, the first edition #1. Jayaram and T.N. Ashok were there in the editorial board. I saw that, and I sent them a clip also, that photo show screen also. They were in the editorial advisor board. At the time of starting, we had taken the consultation. T.N. Ashok is there continuously from the first edition. And really a wonderful journey. And really, I must compliment our team also. Our Susan Koshi, what a wonderful editor. And our Rajendran, we call him as his lens size editing. And Professor Jagannathan, all scientific articles, he will write it to the common man. Highly complicated scientific articles, he will not mess up, and he will convert it to a small. And Triyambak Sharma, he used to have his prints really. Wherever we go, even Kalam was a great fan of Prince cartoon character. And the 100th edition of Prince was launched by Chhattisgarh CM Raman Singh when he was there. Even in our 175th, I preferred the Prince thanking the readers only. So the beautiful cartoon, Triyambak Sharma, and our Professor Sudarshan, and he is also a great pillar of support from IIT. In fact, with the support of IIT, we also started the Digital Journalists Association of India. Yesterday, I could not brief Mr. G Suresh Then our Mr. Nurullah, Vice President, and the Bharati Tamilan President also is there, but they are there in this meeting. And I will have a separate discussion about digital journalism. This is the first of its kind in the world for bringing to the digital journalists. And we have been talking about the digital journalism for the past 4 or 5 years. And we have been conducting a training program also. However, the world is communication is undergoing a change. And probably we will also, I'll also discuss with Professor G Suresh how we can get associated, Prime Point Foundation, Digital Journalists Association, the PreSense can get associated with a great institution like Makhanlal University for the benefit of students community and communication. Not only that, 8 volumes, I will release it day after tomorrow. I will release it, all this with the link in the new eMagazine. That 170th edition will contain all the links. We have picked up the articles of Indian heritage. We have picked up the articles from Indian history, whatever the freedom movement, how the parliamentary debates have happened in the past. How about many interesting facts, unknown facts about Dr. Ambedkar and Rajaji. All these things are there in that thing. Science and technology, how the Nobel Prize is getting awarded. Many people may not know, we know only the Nobel Prize. How the Nobel Prize, our Jagannathan, Professor Jagannathan has written beautiful articles, 2 or 3 articles. You know, all are assorted articles. And we have had the privilege of having an interview with Jimmy Wales. He is the founder of Wikipedia. And Winton Cerf. Winton Cerf is considered as the father of internet. Without Winton Cerf, we would not be talking like this in the internet. So he is a person who has conceptualized the internet concept itself, Winton Cerf. We have had an exclusive interview with Winton Cerf, and when he came to Chennai, he gave only 2 interviews, one to the Hindu and to the PreSense. So we were able to get that. And very eminent Professor Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he had carried many number of interviews. And he was so fond of giving interview to us. The moment when I used to send a mail, he will immediately, they would fix up a time on phone. That type of respectability. Our responsibility is to maintain the same credibility or more credibility. That's why now we are inducting into a large number of young team also, like Priya, Srinivasan, Gopal, Nandini. We are all trying to induct inside so that they can all be trained in that. So with that, I just, before our Professor Jagannathan gives a formal welcome, a formal thank you. And I gratefully acknowledge all the blessings. And then we will give, on behalf of editorial team, I give an assurance that we will continue the journey with more credibility, with more contents, with the more thing. We will never compromise our quality. And on 30th, we'll be releasing that the full content with the link and everything. We have got the ISBN number also for all the 8 volumes that I will share it. Thank you, Professor Suresh. We will discuss separately. And over to Priya for introducing our team, and then vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for, first of all, giving us this opportunity to celebrate the 75th edition of PreSense. I'm sure invariably only one news or only one point which we hear is the pivotal person being Prime Point Srinivasan. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful person and thinking so much for the future and believing in the youngsters, and we promise to keep up your good work. And before we hear Professor Jagannathan on the vote of thanks, can I request our technical team who had been so supportive enough to ensure that we had a glinchless event today. So we have Srinivasan Gopal.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. This is Srinivasan Gopal from our editorial team. We have Nandini Alagar.
Hello.
This is Nandini Alagar from our editorial team, and Sridhar Raj.
Hello. Vanakkam.
This is Sridhar Raj from our editorial team, and I once again thank all our senior team who have been given the recognition today, Madam Susan Koshi, Mr. V. Rajendran, Mr. Triyambak Sharma, Mr. T.N. Ashok, Professor Jagannathan and Professor Sudarshan. Thank you so much for giving a wonderful base for PreSense for us to build it further. And may I request Professor Dr. R. Jagannathan, Editorial Advisor PreSense and Provost St. Teresa University, West Indies, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Suresh, your fellow Vice Chancellor, for his address was very much inspiring and motivating all of us. Thank you very much, sir. I thank Shri BS Raghavan. He is a veteran. He is a role model for positive governance. His observations were very much relevant even today. Probably it is more relevant today. Thank you very much, sir. I thank Mr. M.B. Jayaram. Your articulations and narrations were to the benefit of our society and applicable not only to our own society, but also globally. Thank you very much, sir. I thank Mr. Narendra ji. Sir, you are very special to us. Right from naming of the Prime Point Foundation at the time of its inception to guiding us throughout in all its phases, we owe ourselves to you. We are doubly happy that you presided over the today's release of the 175th edition of PreSense. Thank you very much, sir. I thank Mrs. Susan Koshi, Dr. P. Sudarshan, IIT Madras, Mr. Rajendran, Mr. T. Ashok, and Mr. Tembak Sharma for their immense and a quality contribution in making what PreSense is today. When I look back the 175 editions of PreSense, I feel proud. At the same time, I feel very humble. I thank the founder, Prime Point Srinivasan, all editors, past and present, all editorial team members, and all editorial advisors. I thank everyone again in this pleasant evening for making this function a good success. Thank you all. Jai Hind.